Why empaths are dangerous to narcissists once awakened is a truth that strikes fear into the very core of a narcissist's existence. For most of the relationship, the empath is the one who bends, who gives endlessly, who silences their own needs in order to keep the peace. Empaths naturally seek harmony, healing, and understanding. So when they encounter a narcissist, they unknowingly walk right into a web of manipulation. The narcissist feeds on their kindness, drains their compassion, and twists their love into a tool of control. But here's where the story changes. The empath eventually awakens. And that awakening is something a narcissist cannot control, stop, or reverse. It is the moment the empath finally sees behind the mask. The lies, the gaslighting, the guilt trips, the endless cycles of chaos and fake apologies. They all become crystal clear. Suddenly, what once confused the empath now makes perfect sense. It was never love, it was never mutual respect, it was exploitation. This awakening transforms the empath into one of the greatest threats to a narcissist. Why? Because the empath is no longer blind to the games. They stop absorbing the guilt that was never theirs. They no longer accept blame for emotions that were projected onto them. They no longer allow their energy to be siphoned by someone who has no intention of giving anything real in return. The narcissist loses their supply. Without it, their illusion of power begins to collapse. For the narcissist, this is terrifying. An awakened empath is like a mirror they cannot escape. When the empath begins to reflect the truth back, the narcissist is forced to confront their own emptiness, manipulation, and deceit. But instead of shattering the empath, the truth shatters the narcissist's illusion of control. The roles reverse. The narcissist can no longer toy with the empath's emotions because the empath has learned to detach, to set boundaries, and most importantly, to walk away. What makes the awakened empath so dangerous is not anger or revenge, but clarity and strength. They have lived through the manipulation, studied the cycles, and survived the emotional war zone. They know the narcissist's playbook better than anyone. And once awakened, they cannot be tricked by the same tactics again. This makes them immune to the very tools narcissists depend on to survive. Even more threatening to the narcissist is the empath's ability to heal and rise stronger than before. Instead of staying broken, the empath uses their pain as fuel to transform. They protect their energy, invest in themselves, and radiate a light that the narcissist cannot dim. Their awakening doesn't just free them, it often exposes the narcissist to others, stripping away the mask they work so hard to maintain. In the end, the empath's awakening is the narcissist's worst nightmare. It marks the end of control, the collapse of manipulation, and the loss of the very supply they depended on. The empath steps into their true power, no longer chained by illusion, and in doing so, becomes untouchable.